Okay, word. All right. So,
That was a lot of questions you got. Okay, I look at them before.
yeah.
Okay.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Nepal.
Okay, and how long did you live there?
I lived in Nepal for 12 years of my life.
12 years. What languages do you speak?
I speak Nepali, English, and also Hindi.
Nepali?
English.
Nepali English? Or are those two separate things?
No, they're separate things. Nepali, English.
English and
Hindi.
Hindi. And
also, I'm learning Spanish. I don't know if that counts or not.
Learning Spanish. And is Hindi and Nepali like native languages in Nepal?
No, Nepali is, but Hindi is from India. But I lived relatively. Our refugee camp was like relatively close from India, and it was easy to pick up because they're kind of similar. It's like Spanish and English, same letters and everything.
Hindi is from India. You picked it up at a refugee camp. Okay. What is a typical day like in Nepal?
So we don't have electricity there, so you have to go to bed by 7 p.m. when it gets dark, and you wake up at 4 a.m. Go search for water.
Wait, hold on. Go to bed at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And then you wake up at 4, and then your alarm is roosters. You have alarm clocks over there, and then you go and search for water for about 2 hours, and after that you go to school. It takes about 45 minutes to get there. It's like 3 miles away.
And were you walking?
To school, yeah.
You said how many miles?
Like about 3 miles, 3.5.
Okay.
And once you get to school, school starts at 8, and then it ends at 3 p.m. Then you come home, and you don't have any homework because we didn't have enough notebooks to write on.
Okay.
And then you go search for food after that. If you have food at home, you're lucky. If not, you go search for them.
And what do you mean searching for food? Like searching for animals?
No. Well, this is kind of stupid, but the food was provided by the government, but we run out pretty quick. And when that happens, your parents have to work for it, and then if they make it, if you have food for the night, you eat. If not, then you go to bed hungry. But most of the time, my friends and I used to go into town and like steal fruits.
Steal some food.
Or work for them. Work for food.
Okay. What does the average family look like in Nepal?
Like 10 to 15 people live in the family. So all your grandma, grandpa. It's way different than the Western culture. You have your auntie, your uncle living in the same place.
Family, extended family lives with you. What else about family? What does the average family look like? Okay. Guess that's good. What are some jobs that are typical in Nepal?
So if you're living in the refugee camp, you do like the hard labors, like construction stuff, and also like the family that I grew up in. My mom was a social worker because she saw all the problems that was happening in the refugee camp, all the like violence and crimes. So she dedicated her life to helping kids and teaching them this importance of education so they don't end up dead.
Okay. Any other jobs? So construction, social working.
Yeah.
What would be like another example of a job? Is there like, people who like give out food or like something like that?
No, we don't have jobs for those. We volunteer basically.
Okay,
And,
volunteer.
so when the truck arrives in the refugee camp, there's some people who volunteer to distribute food to everyone so they get the same amount.
Okay. So I know we kind of already touched on this, but what does education look like? So, like an average day at school, what do you learn, or what's it look like?
Well, the whole education system was in trouble me growing up because we constantly ran out of notebooks that were provided by the UN, and also like the book that people donated in like developed countries, they shipped those books in the refugee camp, and we learned through those. Also, growing up, we didn't have calculators or any of that, so we'd have to. I learned how to do math by counting sticks and stones, and also my brother and I learned how to read by digging up trash cans and finding newspapers.
Okay. Let's see here. So, how many people on average? Let me reword this question real quick. So, how many people on average would you say like get away from Nepal and the refugee camps and travel to other places?
Through UN, we all had the chance to move to the third country. Well, basically every single one of us had the opportunity to go to a different country and to restart the new life.
So what did that look like for you? What made you want to come to America?
Because of like all the struggles and like the miserable life made us want to, and then like the lack of education and like lack of technologies, lack of food, lack of like every single thing made us want to go to a different country and restart a new life where there's full of opportunities.
What made you decide on like the U.S. instead of like, let's say, like India or Mexico or something like that?
We had options, and then most of my mom's family were in Colorado.
Okay.
So we just came here so we get the moral support from the family that was already here.
And so you said you were 12 when you moved to America?
Yeah.
And what was school like for you? Like, did you go to school when you first moved here?
Yeah. I came here during...
Did you just go to like a public school? Or?
Yeah, like a public middle school. I started as a 7th grader here.
Okay. How do people usually like greet each other in Nepal? Is it kind of like, you know how like we dap each other up and shit here? Is there any form of that in Nepal?
We really don't have like the dabbing stuff. We shake hand or we just do the thing that you do during yoga. It's like...
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of like a bow in a way.
Right. And then you don't do that to friends. We have the way we approach elders are different than the way we approach our friends, and like we have like different saying for all of them. and like you don't really say hi to your friends. It's just like, oh yeah, you here, let's go. Like,
Right.
and when you see people that are older than you, and then like they're your relatives, you bow down and like and greet them.
Okay. Um, is there any like gestures slash like body language that you do in Nepal that isn't found in America? So some examples would be like flipping somebody off. Is there like a Nepal way to do that, or like
No, we
waving at
yeah.
somebody? Is that any
I mean, it's
different?
just a wave, like a regular wave that you do in every other places. And we don't have like those flipping up or any of that.
Or like a thumbs up type deal? Is there any of that?
No,
No.
we just wave, and
Okay.
I think waving is the worldwide thing, you know.
Yeah. Trying to think like body language. Like, do you like maintain eye contact a lot during speech?
Yeah.
Is that like a very respectful thing?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I think yeah, body language is like I feel like it's important everywhere. You just like show your emotion through your body language. And make sure to let them know that you care about what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything accepted in like this culture in America that would not be accepted in your culture? Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like for example, like gay people.
Yeah.
Like, would being gay in Nepal be an issue?
Like I don't know about like the rest of the Nepal, because we lived in like this little like refugee camp, and that was like in the middle of nowhere. So nobody, like I feel like people were like hustling the whole time, like they're trying to find a way to survive that day. Nobody really cared about who's gay and who's not.
Okay.
Like the whole purpose was to survive there.
And would you say there's a lot of I mean, obviously there's like a lot of teamwork involved with that.
Right.
Because one of the questions is like individual slash collective. So you would say that Nepal's a collective culture of like everyone kind of works together for a common goal.
Right.
Right. Okay. Is there anything you miss about Nepal?
To be honest, I had a lot of fun growing up. Like, I feel like it was like the most funnest slash the hardest, and then like the most miserable 12 years of my life. But in terms of like having fun, I had a lot of friends, and then we would do like stupid stuff all the time, like make up our own games, and like because we didn't have any video games or telephones or like TV or any of that. So we always did like the outdoor stuff, like hide and seek, and like in the public. And like the way they do hide and seek here is like you hide in the laundry room or something, but you had the whole refugee camp to hide, and like there's like 50 people playing the same game because they're just trying to find something to do.
Right. That sounds pretty neat. So you'd say you miss the like camaraderie aspect of like you and your friends just gooning around, fucking around.
Also, like we're like little 8 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old.
Right.
Like we were just trying to live our childhood.
That's awesome.
In a way that we would have fun, not just worry about the survival needs all the time.
Right. So you miss the aspect of like your friends and just like dicking around and like making the most of what you got.
Right.
What do you not miss? And this you can answer in any way you want.
Right. The only thing I don't miss is walking to school for like 45 minutes every day without your shoes.
Right.
And in the cold sometimes. Also like sleeping on the floor for 12 years in freezing mud. also like having to worry about where your next meal is coming from. I feel like that's the thing that nobody would miss if they would have that life.
Right. Okay. It's fucking deep, bro. Is there anything else you would like me to know about your culture before we finish?
Yeah, I don't know, like our culture is like very like complex. It's like very broad. Like we celebrate. We're like, and the whole refugee camp was like predominantly Hindu, so we would go to temple a lot and like have our own like culture festivals and like our own little dances or like celebrate Diwali, which is like a festival of light. It's like Christmas.
Another good answer would be, or question is, are you still Hindu?
Yeah, yeah. I don't practice it often, but I am a Hindu and I'm not very big into like religions and stuff. But
you still
I
consider yourself Hindu?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I still like have fun at like the religious holiday. I like take parts in every single one of them.
Okay, and my last little tidbit question is emotion in your culture shown as a strength or a weakness?
Definitely strength.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like a broad question too.
And it really is. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But would like being very passionate about something and being emotional over something, would that be considered? I'd say in America, I would consider emotion to be like a weakness.
Right. But also like, it's the emotion that drives you to do the things in life that you want to do. So like, because I lived the life that I lived, I want to contribute to that. Like, I want to contribute my future to helping those people that are living the same life that I lived before. Like, like when I was a kid, I think every single children in refugee camp was in trouble because of the lack of education, like the poverty, or like lack of resources. So I wanna, once I graduate college, I want to help the kid like me.
Okay.
Find resources.
Are you going to school for something along those lines? Like, what's your major?
My major is psychology in the neuroscience field. Because growing up, I didn't have any counselor or like role model. My parents were like working 16 hours a day, like every day, every single day. So like, I feel like we needed counselors or like the role models in our life that like a lot of kids didn't have growing up.
Right.
So I know there are still like a lot of refugee camps in the world that I want to travel to and like teach them the importance of education and help them.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right, that's all I got for you. Anything else before we wrap this up?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right, dude.